right, wow, what a beautiful car. First thing that stands out to me on this vehicle is the color. I've seen a million Corvettes, and I've seen probably a half a dozen in this color. So I love this deep, rich burgundy. It's just a beautiful touch with the chrome. Really, really pops. So my name is Will. I'm the General Sales Manager of Sullivan Auto Trading, and I've pulled this vehicle indoors. I do all of our videos. The reason I do, I have almost 30 years of experience in the car business. I know exactly what to look for on these vehicles when I shoot them, whether you're buying a beautiful Corvette like this or you're buying a Honda Civic. When you're purchasing remotely, there's a lot of trust that has to go in with the customer and the selling dealer. So, pictures all look phenomenal on the internet for the most part. In a very technical world we live in, everything seems to look airbrushed, filtered. And so these videos really give you a real life view of what to expect, what's going to show up in your driveway. Now, with any pre-owned vehicle, I know that, perfection is never really the expectation. You just want to make sure that whatever you're buying doesn't show up and you're just completely blindsided by, blemishes, which I'm sure as we go around this vehicle, we're going to find a couple. Just driving this vehicle back here to this photo booth, I'm very impressed by the interior condition, very impressed by the exterior condition, and I just love the color. So what we're going to do is we're going to start from the front. I like to hit the front bumper and move through the fenders and doors and quarter panels and just kind of work our way around. Once we cover the body of the vehicle, we'll go and we'll touch on wheels and move inside and kind of wrap it up. Anytime that I start these videos, I always start off by saying, you'll notice that we are in a very bright indoor place to shoot this video. So the reason I use this indoor setting is because this is the same lighting atmosphere that someone who does paint correction or somebody that does paintless dent repair would use, because it exposes any dent, ding, or blemish. I don't miss much under these lighting conditions. Second, it gets the pollen off the cars. It's the best sample of what we can give you. Whether you're buying from Florida, Texas, Maine, Oregon, doesn't matter. So without further ado, I'm going to start from the bumper. Now, I always say this, moving into the bumper, the front bumpers of our vehicles are literally the shields to our cars. They pick up all of the road debris, all of the tar, all of the bugs. So, we rarely ever see a perfect front bumper. So I always privy with that before I start, because it's where I start my videos and I don't want to start off with a bunch of blemishes. But so far, from what I can see here, it looks really good. But we're going to just start from the driver's side here. The headlight housing is literally crystal clear. It looks brand new. You can see, I'm trying to escape my reflection here. You see the nice Corvette emblem on the top side of the light. I love the way they did this headlight. If we look down here along the body, these are called body lines as they come down here. And they are the first thing I put my eyes on when I'm trying to determine whether a car has had any paint or body work. In a Corvette like this, you can see you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, the body lines are endless as we go across this car. And when an accident happens, if you have ever done drywall repair work, it's very similar to doing body work. You're taking a mud and you're trying to reshape something. In a wall, for instance, it's a very easy application because it's flat. But in a car, you're trying to recreate these body lines. And you can see as we look down this car that this is true, perfect, symmetrical. There is no evidence whatsoever of any paint or body work. It looks so factory. And it's just beautiful as we look down that fender, going all the way back there to that driver's door and along the hood. Another telltale is the gapping or the tolerance between panels. So we look and we see, all right, well, what's the spacing in the headlights all the way around? Is it true and consistent? How does the fender line up to the bumper here? What about the gapping in the hood? Is it consistent here with the other side? And I've been over this car, it is. There's no evidence whatsoever this car's ever been hit, painted on, anything. And you can just see, I'm gonna just pan across. Look how sharp the body lines are. Look how consistent the gaps and spacing is across the body. I mean, the front of this vehicle looks outstanding. Dropping down to where we see the dents, dings, and scratches, it looks excellent. I don't see any as I'm panning across here. The plastic on the grille looks great. All the cameras are clear. The lenses on the front cameras are all very, very clear. The diffuser style bumper on the bottom is not chewed up. The Chevy emblem looks great. The body line from the top of the Chevy emblem all the way through is nice and sharp. And I don't see any blemishes along the front of this bumper all the way over to the other side. There is a tiny, when we talk about headlight housings, there is a tiny, tiny blemish right here in the front. Is that a blemish or is that? Oh, these headlights are wrapped with a paint protection film. Okay, so there's no blemish in the actual light, but there is a plastic PPF that's been placed on this light. Very expensive to do, and it's nice to see that on there, but that protects this more than likely $2,000 headlight from being cracked. And so what we're seeing there is just the paint protection film doing its job. It must have picked up something off the road, but when you stand up and step away, you can't even see it. So everything lines up on this side as well. I don't see any blemishes down this fender. As we go across the top here, you can see a tiny area right there. And that's about it. But I don't even think that was ever touched up. I just think, yeah, I mean, it looks outstanding. So the front end of this vehicle looks great. Moving along the fender here, fender looks great. No dents, stings, or blemishes. All the way down through here. Along the driver's door and rocker panels, they look very good. Try to slide my hand up along here. I can feel, as I run my hand along here, I can feel some kind of gritty material that probably can be washed off. It's probably just from driving it back here, something that dried on it or something. But move back along to the quarter panel. Quarter panel looks excellent. Looks great down the body lines. Lines up nice and flush with the rear bumper. We have a tiny, tiny blemish right here on this rear bumper. Tail light housings look great. The plastic looks great as we pan along here. Along this rear spoiler, just running my hand along, everything feels nice and smooth. Car looks good. Up and down the rear hatch. Nothing that's jumping out at me. I mean, what you see in my camera here is what I see. This is a really good representation of the condition. Rear glass is tinted. And then look how nice that top looks. These coupes just such a cool design in these. Back along to the passenger side quarter panel. Man, it's hot in this room. I thought that might be a blemish there, but that's actually just a piece of fuzz. Plastics look good. Quarter panel looks excellent. Super clean. I don't know if that's actually wax. I thought that was dried up wax. I thought that might be like a little door ding. That's more wax. I mean, this exterior of this car is in excellent shape. It really is. Looking along the bottom side here, it looks great. Looks like we got PPF all the way along. So this is more PPF, which is nice because it's going to protect from any of the, anything that's thrown up from the wheel here. And that PPF continues down here. We got a little bit, as we continue to watch this PPF all the way here, we have a little bit of bubbling right here in the PPF. We can try to heat that up with a heat gun, see if we can shrink those bubbles, but who knows why that happened. Underneath, this paint is perfect, but this PPF, this is one of the drawbacks of it. We'll try to shrink that with some heat and get it to go away. But it's nice to know that this car has been completely PPF'd all the way around, including the headlight housings. So, and then back along to the fender. So I'm really impressed with the exterior of this car. Side mirrors are in good shape. PPF on the side mirrors, I can feel it. You can see where the PPF right here has done its job. And you may decide you want to peel the PPF off when you get it. But it's so expensive to do this, and you can kind of see that's more PPF. That's what that line is all the way through. But it has its drawbacks, and one of them is it can bubble, and when you do have something hit it, it can show itself. But we'll leave that up to whomever buys it. They can remove it if they want. It removes relatively easy. You can use heat, or you can just slowly peel it off with some solvent. It'll come right off. All right, so that's the exterior of the vehicle. I'm really, really impressed. Couple little minor blemishes, but for a 2017, I'd put this up against any 2017 in the country. You're gonna have some blemishes, especially if you drive your car. Opening the door and taking a look inside, it is very clean. The pictures that you see online, great representation of the condition. Look how clean the carpets are. Seats are very clean. When you have a Corvette, you have very deep, bucket seats, so these bolsters can wear out easily. This doesn't show any signs whatsoever of wearing out. A little bit of wear on the armrest, and it's not necessarily wear, it's just from setting your arm there and being black and hot. It starts to get a little loose in the top end of the fabric there, but really clean shifter boot, no wear on the steering wheel. Buttons look good. So we go around. We do have, this is the mirror adjust. The exterior of these buttons here, and here's a good example with the window switch, they start to lose their laminate. So these are two areas of the car that are used a lot. So here and here, that's a design fall from Chevrolet. Even with low miles, they're starting to peel off a little bit. But those are the only interior imperfections that I can find. Super, super clean inside. Let's get a shot from the other side. We'll look inside the hatch too, and of course look at the motor. Looking in, passenger side looks like it was never sat in. Super clean under there. And then we'll get a better shot by opening up the hatch. Let me grab the key. Pop that. All the cargo nets and covers, and I'm no Corvette expert, but I think this is for when you put your hardtop in there. Provide some protection. All the plastics look good. Second here. Hood. Oh wow, what a light hood. Literally feels like nothing when you open it. Motor's spotless. Alright, vehicle comes with one key. If the dealership that we purchased the vehicle from, if they end up sending us a second key, we'll make sure we send that along. The Corvette plate looks really good. Tiny blemish right there on it, but all right, time to get a shot of the wheels. Driver front wheel chrome looks excellent. Got nice Michelin tires on it. I do not see any curb rash, oxidation, or anything on that chrome wheel. Driver's side rear wheel looks excellent as well. Passenger side rear wheel looks excellent. You'll notice some rust build up around the rotors there. That happens, just material that they're made from when they sit, especially in a humid state like Virginia. We'll put brand new rotors on a vehicle and in 48 hours they have a nice coat of rust on them, but you break a couple times and it's completely gone. So, and then finally the passenger side. These wheels are, if 5's a perfect score, they're a 5. They're in outstanding condition. So, well, there you have it. That is one gorgeous car, amazing color. Some of the positives, I love that they have used paint protection film throughout this entire vehicle. At least, even if you end up removing it, some areas where it's starting to bubble or starting to, you know, has been nicked or something like that, you know underneath you have perfect paint. So big positive there. Somebody spent the money to do that. I love the wheel condition on these vehicles, or on this vehicle. Inside spotless, and just all around just a gorgeous, gorgeous example. If I had to make some negative comments, middle console lid starting to show a little wear. I see that on every Corvette that I look at, and same with the button wear, and you know, some of the paint protection film has got a few blemishes on it here and there, and we'll do our best to heat up those bubbles and stuff like that. But just car's in outstanding shape. I think this would make a great addition for any collector or anybody that is looking just to buy a really nice Corvette. If you have any questions about anything you've seen today, please call me or any one of our staff. We all work as a team here at Sullivan Auto Training, and thank you so much for your interest. Have a nice day.